So I just want to know from the folks here who has had an experience with yoga and or meditation before. Okay. Awesome. And for those of you who are not, oh, Olympia, that would be great, who have no experience, wonderful. This is a good place to start, as we won't be doing anything strenuous today. And the most important thing to do is to breathe, to remember to follow your breath. A lot of folks, when we think about yoga, we think of just poses and what Instagram has shown us, but it's much more important than just our what our body can do. It's really an exercise for our minds too. So today, remember to just breathe. Nothing else really is significant. And again, you can turn off your cameras when we get started with the yoga, but I prefer that you keep them on just so I could teach to your body and keep you safe in the poses. So I'll tell you a little bit about some of the benefits of practicing yoga and meditation. And also I'd like to explain how they are one and the same. So yoga means union. This union between your mind, body, and your spirit. And it's linked with our breath. So whether you're practicing yoga or you're practicing meditation, they're all under the same umbrella. Actually, meditation is one of 5 types of yoga. So there's 5 types of yoga. There's karma yoga, which is selfless service. And I feel like all Vistas do that. So thank you for your selfless service. A lot of Vistas practice yoga and didn't even know it. And then there is jnana yoga, which is the study of yoga. And I think that that's a beautiful thing to do for anybody considering this practice. Lots of resources here. I'm forever a student as well as a teacher. And I've been teaching for about 10 years now, but I still study all the time. So jnana yoga is the second one. The third type of yoga is hatha yoga, which is something we're going to practice today, which is an umbrella term for physical yoga. So if you've heard of Bikram yoga, that's a form of hatha yoga. What are some other types that you've heard of? Acro, vinyasa, slow flow, all these different kinds of yoga. Any physical practice of yoga is under the umbrella of hatha yoga. Then there's the fourth kind, Raja yoga, which is meditation. So when people say, I don't do yoga, I just meditate, they're still doing a type of yoga, which is awesome and maybe a little known fact. And then the fifth type of yoga, I want to remember it right now, but I'm drawing a blank. Jnana, karma, hatha, said karma already. There's one more. I will remember it before the end of this, but all of those types are listed in Light on Yoga. Yes, Patrice?
Is it, by chance, is it Kundalini or is that still under Hatha?
Yeah, Kundalini will also still be under Hatha. Okay. But jnana, karma, hatha, is going to come to me. Bhakti yoga, which is devotion to God. So when you see monks who sit all day, they're devoting their whole practice to a higher power. So that's another style of yoga. So thank you for looking at Patrice. That gave me an opportunity to think of the fifth type of yoga. So when you think of yoga, think of it as this 5-wheel spoke. So even if you don't do one or the other, you can still be a yogi, so to speak. And all of these styles of yoga have been researched and proven to impact not only our physical health, but also our mental health. And as AmeriCorps members, we all are change makers. And we all, as change makers within that role, are caring for other people. And a lot of times underserved communities or underestimated populations. And some of the stuff we face, some of the stuff we see working in these communities can have an impact on our heart, can have an impact on our minds. And I just want to ask the folks that are here today, throughout your AmeriCorps service, this is no right or wrong answer. Have you experienced stress? I think you can raise your hand on here. Is there a raise your hand option like that people can press if I don't see them?
Um, I don't see that as an option.
Okay, well, thanks.
There's a thumbs up under reactions. So you could do a thumbs up.
Okay.
Courtney Floyd got it. Cool. All right. And, you know, other than stress, we might feel other things like depression. You know, a lot of times people become, can also become jaded in this work. Like, I'm doing all of this and I'm not seeing the results quick enough. So there's many emotions that could be happening to us simultaneously or here and there based on our projects. So a big piece of being a change maker is managing our emotions. So in those moments where we do feel stressed or even depressed or jaded or angry, we can work through those emotions and keep going and not give up, and also use this practice, any of the types of yoga on this 5-wheel spoke, to keep going, to keep rolling. Does anyone have any questions before we jump into a breathing exercise and our yoga practice? You can either ask by taking your thing off of mute, or you can put it in the chat.
If it's okay too, I just want to have Patrice, if you could do just a quick intro for people about the self-care series, and that'll give people a chance to, if they want to put anything in the chat box too. But just wanted to make sure that people knew kind of what they were part of, and also that this will be recorded and available to watch later on if you know of your teammates who weren't able to see this. So Patrice, do you want to just do a quick intro?
Okay. So just, and actually, Megan, you said everything. But
Steal your thunder.
Right. Just to I guess, just briefly say that I've been serving as a part of AmeriCorps, and I'm a Vista, and so is Carrie. Carrie is a Vista. We are volunteers in service to America. And so I know that a majority of you are AmeriCorps members, but this is our first time kind of uniting with the AmeriCorps members throughout Michigan. And one of the things that we strongly felt in LeaderCorps is that during this time of the pandemic, and didn't even know there's going to be a racial uprising as well. I mean, there's just so many things that are not normal in this world right now. And we are still essential. Our service is still essential, right? And we still have to carry out an incredible load right now, being compassionate. And as compassionate workers doing compassionate work, right? We are directly affected in a stressful way, in a traumatic way with the events that are going on, and yet we still have to give our hearts in service. And so self-care is a way of taking care of our hearts as we, selflessly give to others during this incredible time. As I've lost someone to COVID-19, but I'm still there 100% or at least 90% in doing this work, but I have to take care of me. I cannot ignore me. And so this self-care is about helping us to equip us with tools to help us to take care of ourselves during this time. Because if you don't take care of you, you cannot take care of others. So help us to keep our glass of water as full as possible so we give from the overflow. And again, Carrie is incredible because she is under a lot of pressure and a lot of work, but she has this incredible heart in terms of her mission and her organization, Yoganic Flow, to make sure that the urban community is equipped with yoga. But in the meantime, she's a Vista 100, not in the meantime, 100% of the time, like 40. Her major part of her week is working with DPSCD and understanding and mapping out the many partners that they have in all of their schools, and then putting together a process to help bring in other partners electronically to quickly bring in resources to our students. So it's just incredible. We are blessed to have her. She's an incredible soul. I admire. One other thing, real quick, as I don't see too much action happening in the chat, but real quick, I've been studying yoga and meditations since the 70s, right? My grandmother brought me into the practice under the teachings of Yogananda. And so in my walk, and I've done transcendental meditation and yoga and Kundalini and all this stuff, I don't see many. In fact, I've only seen maybe 2 Black women or Black people in the form of a teacher. So I am really blessed and honored by this privilege of being taught this, or having this time, this session being led by Carrie. That's me. That's it. I'm out. Carrie, back on to you.
Megan, thank you so much for having Patrice offer that. And Patrice, of course, thank you for sharing that. And I just want to offer you this to everyone. If you are interested in learning more from POC teachers, people of color, there are lots of teachers out here that can give you more information on why it's so significant for people of color to practice mindfulness and to use as a source of healing, especially and particularly for racial trauma, which is now being elevated now and people are talking about this sort of thing. But a great resource on that that just came out, I'll put her name in the chat, is Dr. Gail Parker. She is a yoga teacher and really a mindfulness expert who just released a book on the effects of mindfulness on racial trauma. So that may be a resource for you all, as many of us tend to work in urban communities, in communities of color. So definitely check that out. Also, for people who are interested, there's one that I love by Dr. Candace. I can't remember her last name, but she's compiled a Black Lives Matter meditation, and you could easily just Google that and it's beautiful. So there are lots of resources out here to learn about non-performative allyship and to support people of color during this time, especially when healing is needed really for all of us, but especially for people still fighting this liberation struggle, you know, but for all of us, it's just strange times. We have a pandemic, so it's really important to care for ourselves, to keep that cup at least halfway full or full so we can give as much as we can to our service projects. But some of the ways that yoga can support your mental and physical health has been researched for 30 years. And it's available in this wonderful book by Dr. Dean Ornish, which talks about how our mind and body, they're connected. So if we're hurting inside, it's harder for us to muster up the strength and energy that we need mentally and physically to do the work that we do as change makers. So I encourage you to maybe check out this book. This really talks about how our mental health is so important for our physical health, and not just like how our body looks, right? But what's going on from a cellular level, what's happening to our organs from stress, what happens to our blood pressure and our blood flow when we feel stressed. It's all elaborated on here. There's even recipes in here. There's a lot of things that you need in here for a holistic view of your health. And then another great resource, let me back up real quick. It talks about specifically how yoga reduces blood pressure and kind of counteracts the negative impacts of like fight or flight, or what we tend to feel when we get really stressed out, right? Then another good resource for our friends that are new to yoga is Yoga for Everybody by Diane Bondi. She is another Black yoga teacher who has been in the game for a really long time, and she is more voluptuous. And one of the things that she tags under her Instagram photos is Fat Black Yogini. And at a time that was very like radical and controversial, because she would be the only one in her class that wasn't a skinny white woman. So she decided to really make that her platform and share that to empower other women who weren't a size 2 to feel comfortable on the mat wearing whatever they want to wear. So she's one of my yoga mentors, and she has lots of resources about the benefits of yoga for your physical and mental health, and really how to make every single pose accessible. So I really love this book. And the last one I want to share with you, if you're really interested at all about learning more about the practice of yoga, where it comes from, what it stands for, the true intention of this practice beyond the obvious physical benefits of yoga, is Light on Yoga by BKS Iyengar. This book really gives you a full history of how this can contribute to your self-care and why this was started. So let's go ahead and get into our practice. But if we have any questions, feel free to raise your hand or ask them in the chat. And I've attached a Mindfulness for AmeriCorps worksheet for you, or handout for you, with a breathing exercise, as well as some moves you can do in your chair when we all go back to the office, or you can do on your office, in your office at home. A couple things. Yes, Patrice.
Sorry. Can we also share the listing of the books that you?
Oh, sure, absolutely. Before we end class, when you all are in the final position where you're lying down, which is called Savasana, I will type in all of these book titles to share with everyone. These are really awesome resources.
And then those who aren't able to attend, we also would like to send them the attachments along with the recording of what's happening right now. So.
All right, that sounds awesome. We'll actually practice that first breathing exercise together so we can begin to settle in. So go ahead and you want to find a comfortable seat. It can be in a chair, it could be however. And I want you to get your pinky out and your index finger. So you want to, it's like you're doing this little sign here, your hang 10 sign. Bring your ring finger and your middle finger down. We're going to try something called alternate nostril breathing. This is one way to relieve anxiety, okay? So you're going to use these two fingers on the outside to press down on your nostrils, okay? And you're going to allow this finger to rest right in the middle of your forehead to anchor down your hand. So press that finger here and use these to manipulate your nostrils. You can also use this finger if that feels better for you, your ring finger. I typically use my pinky because it's just more space and it feels more comfortable, okay? And we'll do a couple rounds of these, and then I'll let you practice on your own. So I'll scoot close to the camera so everyone can see what's going on with me. So put this finger right between your eyebrows, and then press down your right nostril. Take a big sip of breath through your left nostril. Press it down, hold that breath. Remove the thumb from your right nostril. Let the breath go. Inhale, fill up the right nostril. Press your thumb down, hold the breath. Release your left nostril. Good. Inhale through the left nostril. Press it down, retain your breath. Release your right nostril. Empty out. Fill up your right nostril. Hold it. Release your left nostril. Breathe in. Plug the left nostril, let it out through the right. Inhale. Plug the right nostril, let it out through the left. Let's try one more. Plug it and release it. Let your hand go. Now it takes a few rounds of practice, but go ahead and try that on your own anytime. What that does as you balance the breath coming in both nostrils, you balance the cerebral hemispheres of your brain. So I don't know if you all have ever heard someone say, like, I'm off today, or that person is off balance. Literally meaning our cerebral hemispheres of our brain could be off balance. That is a breathing exercise that brings balance to the brain, balance to the body. And it takes some practice. But again, it's called alternate nostril breathing. In that handout, there's some more detailed directions. And I encourage you to practice that up to 5 minutes. If you have asthma, such as myself, or you have any sort of lung issues with the lungs, please take it up with your doctor if you should try that. And it may take a while to build your lung capacity to fully practice that exercise and take inhales and exhales that are that full. So if that was a challenge for you, don't worry. Everything gets easier with practice. Let's go ahead and begin our yoga session. And before I begin, I invite you to grab any yoga blocks if you have them. You can grab a blanket. This blanket can be from your bed. You can also grab some pillows off of your couch, just anything to lend your body more support. Also, in February, I had knee surgery. So some of the things on one side or the other I may not model. I will offer you instruction. So please listen closely. And if you have any questions, feel free to throw that in the chat. The last thing I'll say before we start our practice is, and again, it's totally optional. I would love to see you do the poses so I can teach to your body and just see if anything needs to be tweaked. I want to protect you and make sure that you're not moving into any pose in a way that could potentially injure the body. But if you want your camera off, no worries, totally understand that. And when you're getting ready for your yoga practice, things I recommend other than your yoga props, maybe a candle to set the tone, especially if you practice at night, or some essential oil. This is something that naturally brings about a calming effect. So if you've been having a stressful day, there's a lot on your mind, you're thinking about, I don't know, just the climate of the world right now, you can just put some little essential oil on, take a deep breath, and that lavender already starts to calm the mind and the body. All right, everybody, let's get started. Find that comfortable seated position. Your legs don't need to be perfectly crossed. They can even be out a little. This is your practice, your time to tune in and let go of everything else outside of yourself, everything outside of your control. So if you find that your mind is really busy, you can place the palms down on the knees. If you feel open right now to just receiving, you can place the palms open with them facing the ceiling. And then we'll go ahead and begin by closing our eyes. When we close our eyes, it's the first step in triggering relaxation. We start to tune out all the things outside of our bodies. And we start to tune into what's going on inside of our bodies. So with your eyes closed, notice if your eyes are moving around a lot, even with the eyelids shut. And without any judgment, in this judgment-free space, see if you can center your eyebrows right between your eyebrows. In the spiritual community or yoga world, we refer to this area as your third eye. Other people call this your inner eye. So use that inner eye for the next 30 minutes to watch what's going on in your body. Start to watch your breath. As you breathe in through your nose and out through your noses, visualize your breath. Watch the breath as it moves into your body and as it moves out of your body. Watch it flow in as you sip the breath through your nose. And watch it flow out as you release the breath through your nose. And breath by breath, as we observe it, we shift our attention from the external to the internal. Letting go of everything outside of our body, our mats, and the sacred space that we've created and given ourselves for the next 30 minutes. And then draw your attention to that little dip above your top lip, the septum. As you exhale, feel your breath gently warm that area. And on your next breath in, fill up both of your lungs. Fill up your chest with breath. Open your mouth and let it out. Take a deep breath in, fill the lungs, fill the chest. This time, press it out through your nose. Set that septum on fire with your breath. Breathe in, filling the body up, sitting up tall. And as you exhale, release your breath. Feel the warmth of it right above the top lip. Breathe in, watch your body, your organs fill with your breath. And as you breathe out, feel everything release and warm. When your next inhale, start to open the eyes. Lift your chin up towards the ceiling and look up. Allow your right ear to fall to your right shoulder and bring your chin down to your chest. Inhale, take that left ear to your left shoulder as the chin rises towards the ceiling. Exhale, release the breath and the chin down to your chest. And take a couple of these neck rolls at the pace of your breath. Taking your time. Always moving at the pace of your own breath during this practice. And then go ahead, slowly change directions. And Vistas and AmeriCorps members, it's okay if you go slower or faster than me. I'm really just here offering you a template. Let your breath be your guide. And on that next inhale, sit up nice and tall. Lift the very crown of your head up towards the ceiling. On your next breath in, fill your belly, your chest, and let the shoulders rise with your breath. Exhale as you rotate them down and back. Take a breath in, lift the shoulders. Exhale as you release them. Breathe in, use that breath to lift your body. And as you release your breath, release your shoulders. Take 2 more. And after your last exhalation, reverse directions. Inhale, lift your body, draw those shoulders up and back. Feel your back body starting to stretch a bit around the shoulders. Feel those rhomboids stretching. All those muscles and tendons and ligaments around Your shoulder start to stretch. Beautiful. And then on your next inhale, circle your arms up towards the ceiling. Peek past your fingers. Feel your whole spine lengthen. As you exhale, place your right hand down by your right side and stretch that left arm all the way up and over. Peek past your left elbow so the shoulder blades are drawing back towards one another. Inhale, reach the arms up, lift up, look up, and change sides. Place that left palm down, stretch the right arm all the way up and over, peeking past your right bicep. Inhale, lift the hands back up towards the sky, look up, and as you exhale, start to come forward, hinging from your hips. Keep those sitting bones anchored into your floor and come forward. Here you may place your head on a pillow, a blanket, a block, or maybe you're feeling super flexible and you place your head on the floor. Wherever you are, take 3 even breaths here through your nose. And when I say even breaths, meaning allow your inhale and your exhale to be equal in length. So if your in-breath is 2 seconds, allow your exhale to be 2 or even 3 seconds out. When your next breath in, start to walk the fingertips towards your body. Take a big breath in, lift the arms, lift the gaze. And as you exhale, plant those hands and start to come onto your hands and knees. Now, if you're like me, you have knobby knees or a knee injury, take your blanket and stretch it out on your mat. Take the knees far apart out to the corners of your yoga mat and bring your toes together. Grab your blanket or your block if needed and start to sink your hips back to your heels and let your forehead come down towards your prop or towards the floor as we move into child's pose. I'm gonna watch you do it. You stay there. Good. And breathe here. Child's pose is a beautiful restorative pose. While your head is on the floor here, just kind of let your head rock from side to side, massaging that inner eye. So we can see what's happening in our body clearly. And continue to watch our breath. Now, if there's any point during our class where you don't hear or feel your breath, I invite you to come right back to that restorative child's pose. And on your next inhalation, take a deep breath in and rise up to your hands and knees in table pose. A lot of us who are building capacity from our office could use this for our backs. Take a deep breath in, fill your belly up, and look at the ceiling. Concave your back here in cow pose, and let's hold for a breath. And as you exhale, start to round your spine. You want to look like a scared Halloween cat. Make the middle of your back go to the ceiling as you press the floor away from you with your palms and your toenails. Take a big breath in, fill the belly and the chest up as you look up in that cow pose. And then exhale, round your spine and tuck your chin in cat pose. Breathe in as you fill and lift your body. And breathe out as you release your breath and you release your head. I invite you to take 2 more of these cat and cows at the pace of your breath. So you may begin to link your breath in your movement. So every single pose, every single move, every single moment is intentional. Now let's go ahead and make our way to this flat table. Now for my friend, Megan that's pregnant, you hang out right here in this stable table and steady your breath. All my other friends, go ahead, fold your toes under. So press the pads of your toes onto the floor and start to lift your hips up to the ceiling in downward facing dog. And from your downward dog, see that the eye of your elbow is facing forward so you can create space around your neck and your shoulders. And then shake your head right and left, yes and no. So whether you're in that down dog or your table, start to release this 8 to 10 pound thing over our shoulders and create some relief around the neck and shoulders. If you're in your down dog, start to pedal your feet. Bend one leg while the other leg straightens. Begin to get this stretch in the hamstrings. And if you're on the hands and knees, move your hips from side to side. Start to get that stretch, elongating the sides of the body. And then go ahead, let's all rise to our toes or come off of the knees and bring your feet up to meet your hands. I'm gonna go to the back of my mat just so I can see everyone. And you may want to have your block with you. As you inhale, lift halfway up with the flat back. Your hands may also come to your shins or to the floor, but you wanna roll your shoulder heads back and create some length in your neck space. As you exhale, fold back forward. Look at your knees or at your navel here in a forward fold. Ground through your feet, through each toe, and then take a deep breath in and circle the arms up towards the sky. Reach up and look up past your fingertips. Take a deep breath in as you stretch your body long, and then bring your palms together at your heart center and close your eyes for a moment. Take a moment here. Feel each toe and both heels grounding through your yoga mat. Maybe even separate the feet hips distance apart, ankles right underneath the hip flexors to get more balance here. And on your next inhale, take a huge breath in, lift your arms, lift your fingers, look past the fingers, and let's all catch our left wrist with our right hand and start to stretch over to the right. Deep breath in, and then come back through center. Fill up, look up, reach up, catch your right wrist, and then start to stretch over to the left, rounding through the outer edge of your right foot. Take a deep breath in, reach all the way back up to the ceiling. Exhale as you fold forward, hinging from your hips. Look at your knees here and let your head dangle away from your shoulder heads. Take a deep breath in, lift halfway up, elongate the hamstrings and spine. And then plant your hands. Let's all come back down to our hands and knees as we prepare to move through this half sun salutation. From your hands and knees, walk your knees back a few inches. Take a deep breath in here. As you exhale, slowly, slowly lower down with control. Keep the elbows in as they shave the sides of your body. Slowly lower. Good. Press the hands right underneath your shoulders. Press the toenails down. And then gently lift up. Get a little baby back bend and baby cobra. Beautiful. Exhale as you come to your hands and knees. And you may stay here, or you can go right to downward dog. No pose is better than the other. Listen to your breath to decide where your body needs to be. Breathe in through the nose and breathe out through your nose. Good. Now let's bring our feet and hands together, meeting back at the top of our mats. Good work, everybody. Good. Lift up halfway with your back nice and flat. And as you exhale, we'll fold in to bring the heart to the thighs or in that direction. Take a deep breath in, reach the arms all the way up to the ceiling. And bring your hands down to your heart space, noticing how you're breathing. Big inhale. Take a complete exhale. Now that we move through that variation of a sun salutation, we'll get into the shoulders. Take your feet to the corners of your yoga mat and interlace your fingers underneath your low back, right beneath the tailbone. If you can, start to draw the palms towards one another If not, no worries. Work to bring the shoulder blades towards one another. Take a deep breath in as you inflate the chest and lift it up towards the ceiling with your knuckles hanging heavy towards the floor. Feel the shoulders opening. Take one more deep breath in here through the nose. Keep your hands clasped. And as you exhale, start to dive forward, hinging from your hips. Look at your belly or between your knees so there's no pressure on your neck or your shoulders. And allow those hands to start to lift away from your low back. So you feel this tight area loosening. Breath by breath. On your next exhale, release your breath as well as your fingertips down to the floor or to your block. And lift up halfway with a flat back. As you exhale, come on down to your hands and knees. Take your time to get there. Good. And then go ahead, make your way to a seated position. No rush to get there. Beautiful. Take a deep breath in, lift your arms up, straighten the legs out, rotate your ankle bones together. And as you exhale, reach out to catch right above or under your knees, maybe your ankles, maybe your feet. Whatever you can grab a hold of is perfect. The goal of yoga is to practice this perfect union between mind and body. To cultivate this balance by yoking our breath to our movement. In this forward fold, find 3 more balanced breaths. Send your breath to any space in your body that feels tight or tense. And on your next inhale, slowly start to lift your body up and hug the right knee in towards your chest. Give yourself a little hug for being here. And then flex your left foot. You want to engage that left quad so your left leg is as straight as can be. Take your right hand and place it right behind your hips, about an inch behind your hips. Use that right arm as a kickstand to straighten your spine. Take a big inhale and reach your left arm up towards the ceiling. Look up. And maybe you catch that right knee with your right hand or your left hand. Or maybe you hook the elbow outside of your knee. Wherever you are, twist from your navel. Look over your right shoulder. And notice, yogis, where your shoulders are in space. See if you can take them away from your earlobes and lengthen your spine. As you come back through center, let that right knee fall to the floor. Place the sole of your right foot inside of your left inner thigh. And then from here, turn your body to the left leg. Take a big breath in, reach the arms up, fill your belly up, your chest, feel the breath to your fingertips. And as you exhale, reach out to catch your left knee above it or under it, your ankle or your foot. Take a breath in to extend your chin towards your toes so you feel this extension in your back. And then start to fold in, draping your torso over that left leg. Beautiful job, ladies. Those of you I can see. Take a deep breath in, watch your belly expand with your breath. And take a complete breath out as that gap between the chest and the thigh close just a bit. Good. On that next inhale, start to lift your body up, take your time, and change legs. Extend your right leg out and hug your left knee in towards the body. Flex that right foot and straighten your right leg out. And then go ahead and place your left hand right behind your hips onto the floor with the fingertips facing away from your body. Take a deep breath in, lift the right arm up, and maybe you catch the knee or you hook the elbow outside of the knee. Yogi's choice. No pose is better than the other. And then peek over your left shoulder. Twisting from the navel, so we give our digestive organs a squeeze this morning, getting our metabolism going early. Take one more deep breath in here until the belly, feel it press up against your left inner thigh. And as you exhale, come forward and release the left knee down to the floor. You can always place a pillow or a block underneath the knee for support. Turn the body towards the right leg. Take a big breath in, fill your lungs up, reach your arms up, lift your gaze. And then reach out, catch right above or under the right knee, your right ankle, your right foot, whatever's available. Take that breath in, extend your chin out to meet your toes or in that direction. And as you exhale, fold all the way in. This is a nice juicy pose. You get to stretch so many parts of the body, upper and lower back. The biggest muscle in your body, your traps on your back. And you get to stretch the hamstrings and hips. Let's take 3 more deep breaths here in head to knee pose. Janu Shirshasana. Maybe even letting that left ear drape in the direction of the right knee to feel more of a stretch through the lumbar spine, that low back. On your next breath in, slowly start to lift your body up. Take your time. Good. And bring both of your feet together. Going where Brandy's going now. Go ahead and take your thumbs and press them into the bunion part of your foot. It's okay, we all got it. Take an inhale, sit up nice and tall. Stack your spine over your pelvis. And as you exhale, start to extend your chin forward towards your big toes. And for some of us, we may stop right here so you can keep the back kind of straight. Others, you may come a little bit further. Wherever you are, feel your breath, visualize your breath. Move in and slowly move out. Breathe in and release here. Let's take 5 more deep breaths together here in this version of butterfly pose. Continue to see and feel the in and out flow of your breath. So our brains get a break to let go of all the external things outside of our control and focus on that one internal thing we can control. How we breathe, therefore how we feel, and how we respond. Take one more deep breath in here. Fill up your belly and your back with breath. As you exhale, let it all go and get into this pose. As you inhale, use that breath to expand and lift your body up. Straighten both legs out in front of you. Take a full inhale. Fill your body up with this life-giving breath. And as you exhale, release, not reaching for anything this time, just letting gravity do the work. Let it go, fold forward. Tuck your chin to your chest to engage the thyroid and breathe. We'll take 5 balanced breaths here in this supported forward fold. So you may grab a blanket or your pillow here or some blocks and place them underneath your chest or your head. So this can become a passive stretch. And you can allow your body to gently lie here. Or you can just hold it. Yogi's choice. We have 3 more deep breaths here. And then slowly, vertebra by vertebra, start to lift up and make your way down to your back. Take your time to get there and lie down. And once you make it to your back, hug your knees into your chest. Good, and start to rock from side to side. Beautiful. And then reach your feet up towards the ceiling. Reach both footprints towards the ceiling, straightening your legs up. Beautiful. And most of you all AmeriCorps Vista members know we have a lot to do. And sometimes our assignments might be on our heart or our minds at bedtime. And this is an incredible pose to do right before bed. It helps us sleep more restfully. All day our blood flow is going down. This reverses the direction of the blood, cleansing and flushing the system. You can take this pose, or you may start to lift the hips to stack over your shoulder in a shoulder stand. Both poses have the same exact benefits. So if your hips are down, beautiful. If your hips are up, that's also fine. Wherever you are, take 2 more deep breaths through your nose. If you're in that shoulder stand or with the hips down and candlestick, look past your toes to protect the neck and the cervical spine. If your hips are up, slowly start to lower down. If your hips are down, we'll plant our feet into the mat and let our hands come down by our sides. And here's one more pose for our friend that requested a shoulder stretch. Continue to look up at the ceiling. Take a deep breath in and gently begin to lift the hips up. You may grab your block here and place it underneath the sacrum. You may also lift your hips up and this becomes a back bend. Wherever you are, if you have the block, catch your block with both hands. If you are in this back bend without your block, walk the shoulder blades together and maybe you interlace the fingertips underneath your low back in bridge pose. Take a deep breath in, feel the belly inflate towards the ceiling, lifting it up. As you exhale, slowly release your bind if you have it, your block, your breath, your back, and lower down. Hug the knees in towards your chest and rock a little bit from side to side. Get a little free back massage here today. And then open your arms out wide to a T. Let the feet fall back down. Allow your knees to fall to the right as you look over your left shoulder for a spinal twist. Also a beautiful pose for those to do that are sitting and working most of the day, to keep that spine from getting, or your low back from getting tight and compressed. On your next inhale, lift the knees. Let's change sides. Allow your knees to fall to the left and take your chin over to your right shoulder. Take a deep breath in, inflate your body with this gift of breath. And as you exhale, let it go. And then go ahead and bring both knees back through center. What happened to our Zoom? Let's see. Don't know what happened here.
We're still here.
Where did it go? I can't find it on my screen. It just like disappeared. Well, I'm glad you're still here. Make your way onto your backs and start to lie down.
Okay, we see you very well, Carrie, though.
That's good.
Just letting you know.
I can't see you at all, or what happened to it.
I wonder, did your computer time out maybe?
I don't know. But it's okay. Let's just all lie down on our backs. Even if I can't see you, it's okay.
We definitely see you.
I promise I'm still doing good.
As long as we're breathing, it's all good. Let's all lie down.
Okay.
And from there, hug your knees into your chest one more time. Stretch your legs out slowly, one by one. Now I can see you. Yeah, take the heels of both feet to the corners of your yoga mat. Good. And place your right hand on your heart. You guys are lying down on your backs. I'm just looking at you now. And place your left hand right under your low belly. And we'll take one more retained breath together through the nose and out through the mouth. When your next inhale starts to fill up, breathe in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it. Retain your breath in your body. Let it move through all parts. Open your mouth and let it go. Let's try that once more. Inhale, fill up. Sip in the breath until you can't sip in anymore. And then hold it. Retain your breath. Open your mouth and let it go. You can keep your hands exactly where they are, or let the hands fall by your sides. Our final pose here today is called Savasana. Allow your body to be completely still here for a moment. Inviting the mind to experience this stillness in this restful state of awareness. Notice that energy and lightness you've created in your heart space. And slowly start to bring awareness back into your body by wiggling your toes, adding some movement to your fingertips, and allowing your head to move from one shoulder to the other. And on your next inhale, take the biggest breath in you've taken all day and stretch your arms above your head like you're taking a big morning stretch. Breathe in, exhale, release your breath and let it go. And then finally draw the knees in towards your chest. Hug yourself for being here. That's a part of self-care, right? Giving yourself a little love. Draw a few circles on the ceiling with your kneecaps to massage out any more tight spaces remaining along the spine. And then rock onto your left side, the side of the heart, in a fetal position. Use that right hand to press yourself up into a comfortable seat. And we'll meet with our palms pressing together and our thumbs resting on our heart space. Gently tuck your chin to your chest. And let's take one more deep, balanced, collective breath through the nose. On your next inhale, fill up. Open your mouth and let it go. The light in me bows to that same light and love inside all of you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you for taking this time to share your practice with me, your energy with me. If you have any questions, I'm always open and available here. I'll give you one more resource for our online yoga classes, there's our website with information for those online classes. We're also on YouTube, Yoganic Flow. So you can practice with us anytime with a range of accessible yoga classes. And I'll also add my email in here in case anyone has any questions. And thank you again.
Thank you so much, Carrie. Thank you, AmeriCorps. It is so great to be a part of a tremendous team of heart. I hope we're equipped. I hope we took care of ourselves really well. You did so nice. I mean, I'm gonna have to offline some stuff and tell you things, Carrie. I am just, I'm blessed. Thank you so much for everything.
And thank you, Patrice, for helping to coordinate. Carrie, that was absolutely amazing. And I apologize, I spelled your name wrong in the chat box. But if everyone could please take just a couple minutes to complete the evaluation link that is in the chat box. Please click on that. We really want your feedback and would love to be able to do this again and offer this again in the future. So thank you again to everyone for being part of this, and especially Carrie for leading us through this amazing time this morning.
Thank you so much. It was wonderful to virtually meet you all, and I hope to see you on or off the mat in the future. Be well, everybody.
Be well.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.